Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Dropped Frames. We're back. We were on hiatus last week because I took a trip to Texas for my dad's 70th birthday. But I'm back. We're good.
Oh, what's
Back.
Texas?
Texas was Texas. A little bit more Republican than when I left it, I would say. A little bit more
Yep.
red. But yeah, it was nice. It was a worthwhile trip. I was also in cowboy country instead of where I usually, my normal stomping grounds. I was in Fort Worth, which is like, if Dallas is like the business side of Texas, Fort Worth is where all the cowboys go, to put that in perspective.
It's like the back of the mullet.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because maybe the business side of Dallas, Cowboy probably has more money than the business side of Dallas. The business side of Dallas is all people trying to make money, but Cowboy people already have money. So, yeah.
So it's like the back if it was braided.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah.
I'm sticking to the mullet analogy. I'm going to make this work.
I think that works. I got to hear a lot about stud prices. That was real interesting. Horses are expensive.
Wood or horses?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Horses. Yeah. Well, also wood prices, because Biden's driving the wood prices up, obviously.
And the gas. I've seen the stickers. I've seen the stickers.
He's responsible for a lot of things, it turns out. Yeah.
He did.
Thanks, Biden.
It's true. Anyway,
So
I'm
going to get a T-shirt that says Dallas up front, Fort Worth in the back.
It would work. It would only make sense to like Texas cowboys or cutting horses people, which is like training horses people. That's the term.
Okay, I was like, I've heard the term cutting horses before. And I needed a refresher as to what it meant. Just training. Yeah.
It's like training.
Drop Frames does not condone cutting of horses.
Yeah, don't cut horses. You can train horses.
You can cut horses, and there is a cutting horse, right? The horse that you ride to train other horses, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm from Montana. I know a little bit. I'm from the city of Montana, but like, I know, I hear things.
Yeah, you got to go up to the Dutton Ranch, Zeke, to really learn about cutting horses. Obviously, you don't get that joke because you don't watch Yellowstone, but
I don't.
To the five people that do watch, see, makes sense.
Someone actually messaged me and asked me. It was like, "Hey, so I know you're from Montana. I've been watching this show Yellowstone, and I'm wondering, like, how accurate is it? Is it like all like Republicans and cowboys and I'm like, I have not seen it, but I'll tell you, like, living there, it wasn't that bad. Like, like any other place, it gets redder the more rural you get.
Yeah, you were in the cities. You were in the few cities.
I was in the big city of 100,000 people in Billings.
Yeah. So that's probably why you should watch Yellowstone, though. It's not a bad show. You might like it because you grew up in the area, so maybe that makes a lot. Maybe you'll notice a lot more things.
Do you know where it takes place?
It takes place in the Dutton Ranch. I don't know, like what big, like they go to Billings is brought up every once in a while. Is Billings the capital?
No, Helena's the capital.
Okay, I think they mentioned that a couple times because they get into politics. They run for like governor and stuff like that towards different aspects of the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it takes place around that area. But
well, because Billings is in Yellowstone County.
Oh,
I'm just curious.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it is
place in Yellowstone County.
It might be Billings. It's the big city there. That might be it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Cohh, what have you been up to? Just streaming, just gaming?
A lot of streaming.
Yeah.
A lot of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some work around the office. Doing all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, you've settled into the office. Are you? You were already fiddling with some stuff today.
Got to work it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I
just downloaded. I downloaded a game on Steam at 265 megabytes per second.
So there isn't a cap. Okay. Or at least not what we were thinking was the cap. That's good.
Yep. That's pretty
fast.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's I'm kind of moving everything over to a 10 gig network now, which is been a learning experience, as I'd not had to deal with that before. But yeah, just making things happen and getting things in, and got a lot of stuff to move in still. We got one more big construction thing in the basement, and that's we're getting some display shelves and stuff. So I've still got like a literal floor of random boxes that were packed from my old house that have not even been touched yet because we're waiting to get these up, and then we're going to unpack them and bring them down and everything and get them all going. So
Yeah.
we're working on it. We're working on it, but getting closer every day.
We've been here 4 years and we're still working on it. Yesterday, Aaron was dragging
Story.
boxes around. So it's just,
Oh yeah.
it's how it goes.
We have a box that made it from my last house.
It was never unboxed.
Never got unboxed, and then now it's down in this house.
Yep.
It was the traveling box.
At some point, you
it
start to
happens.
think like, can we just throw that box away? Like, do we really?
I know. Do we really need what's in there? That's the big thing. I did a lot of like poking around when I was unpacking, and that there's so many kind of little idioms and techniques that you can do where it's like if you have something in front of you and you need to decide is it really worth having this thing? Like, like how often I'm going to use it? What would happen if this thing didn't exist in my life? And I've been doing a lot of that lately, and turns out I need everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because there might be a time that I need it, and I will not order it again.
That's where my brain's at too. It really is. I think I have more audio equipment than like most major studios that just sit in an area. I need to just throw that shit out.
I
was just
going up
thinking
in
about
2 weeks. I have 500 pounds of slat wall sitting in my garage
Oh God.
that I'm going to be putting up in my server closet.
Oh,
And it's just
okay.
getting shelves and hooks, and it's just going to be loaded with shit I don't need or need anymore. I seriously have. I think I have a SCSI connector cable.
Come
I
on.
still have.
No, throw that
just
away.
in case.
Get that out.
Nope.
No, throw
I might
that
need
away.
it. I might need it.
Zeke doesn't
Hey,
even
listen.
need a SCSI connector, and he does fucking super old games.
Listen. Do you need me to come to your house and like be like, does this old mouse bring you joy?
Okay. Yes, I do. And first of all,
Does this bring you joy? What if I put it over here in the maybe pile?
Yeah.
Can I put it over here?
you
in the
can
maybe?
please do that, because in the coming months I'm going to have to fly your ass out and stick you in a hot tub at some point. So that is
Oh, that's
actually
right.
And
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it at the same
approaching.
time.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to do that when you're here. Yes.
Invite hoarders.
Let's go in the hot tub
And-
with
in the hot
all,
tub.
like with all the garbage that you don't need. Like
So
we're just right in
a
there.
garbage hot tub stream. Do you need this? Nope. Lorp. Do you need this? Nope. Lorp.
Dead now.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of old things that I needed, and I have one of, and I need a new one because its connection is shitty.
Okay.
Do either of you use GoXLR? I don't think you do, JP. Do you?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I don't.
The US, because I think I got one of the first ones. I don't know if they still do it, but the connector, the USB connection is one of those old, like printer connectors, like
USB-A?
USBs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Mhm.
And like every time, like I think
Printer
it
cable.
just has a bad connection or something. So every time I like barely bump it, it like loses connection and has to reset. So I'm looking. I was like, no one has these cables anymore. Like, what were you thinking, Helicon?
Go to monoprice.com. They'll sell you some.
No, I know I can get one delivered and stuff.
Oh,
but,
you
like,
mean in
I was
person?
looking around my house last night, going, no one stocks these. Like,
Yeah.
I have millions of other USBs. But I threw these ones out because I never thought I'd need them again.
Unless you have a printer. A printer would probably, those are printer cables is what those used to be called.
Yeah.
So unless you have something like that, then yeah.
You have a printer?
No.
No.
But more often than not, I do have to print things, and it pisses me off because it's like, we should get a
I
printer.
have to
fax something.
actually.
Oh no,
physically
fuck
call-
that. Whoever asked you to fax something, tell them to go fuck themselves. We're not doing that. Send a photo on your phone. That's what you should do.
Listen. Two things. One, I have to call a friend of mine who lives here to like, hey, the one to two times in the last like 5 years I needed something printed out. Like, can you print something out for me? Because I'm the only person I know that has a printer.
Yeah.
So to call them up and have them print it for me. And the other thing, my accountant was like, all right, we're gonna fill out some of this retirement stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to like fax it to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Was
Like,
it a governmental agency?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Like, you need to fax it to him. I'm like, fax it? What? Yeah, you need to wet sign it and fax it. And I'm like, I haven't had to fax something since I worked at the pawn shop.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's because it's the government. Because I had to fax shit to the FBI for gun checks.
Yep.
Like that's the last time I had to fax something.
Yeah, I mean, if you tell someone to fax something these days, they don't. I mean, I don't think I
Okay, to
could tell
fax
you.
off, JP.
I
That's what
couldn't.
they'll do.
They will. They should. That's their right as Americans. But I don't know how to actually fax something. You put is a fax machine where it scans it and then sends that electronically and then it prints it on the other side.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's just a printer. And
It's-
but it
yeah,
goes over
yeah.
landlines.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
That is faxing.
Okay.
It is. It's just like it just takes everything so long to catch up. And oh god, what was it? There was a it might have been Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
something like that, where someone got a like a nice government job, like a big deal government job, and it's like requisition a box of
That was weird.
That was you.
That was on me. That was on me.
That was
yeah.
you.
Yeah. We're stable
we-
now. Yeah.
we're good now.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
see,
yeah.
on my screen, you were fine. I saw you kind of do the big eyeball thing.
Yeah, well, it started. We got RoboCopy.
Oh, it looks
okay.
like the stream also.
Yeah, the stream blipped for a split second.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, send me
You
some
back?
of that 10 G's there, Co.
Yeah, no shit, right? Maybe we should broadcast from Cohh's connection.
Yeah, yeah. Jeez. Anyways,
Uh,
Parks and Rec's joke.
Well, all I was saying was, when it comes to government, there was a part in one of the, I don't know if it's Park and Rec or not, but requisition a box of pens. It's like, oh, the pens are here, and they get it, and it's just a box full of pen caps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the government is just behind on everything, or they get,
Yeah.
there's too many cogs.
We got on the topic of doing taxes because I did my taxes last night as well, and I was telling the stream like, hey, I got to in stream because I have to go do taxes type deal, and a bunch of Europeans were like, what do you mean do taxes? And so I like walked them through like what that means. They're like, we just pay the government what they tell us they owe. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But here in America,
Yep.
we have to like the IRS knows the number, but we get to play
That's-
fucking Price is Right with them, and then hope that we get it right.
Yep.
It's fucking.
That's
stupid.
the part that drives me crazy.
so
It's like
stupid.
they know exactly how much we owe them.
Yeah.
It's just they want us to do it for ourselves because we screw it up,
Yeah.
and then they can charge us more. It
It's
is
so
the most
stupid.
ludicrous. Just oh my god, dude!
That's so dumb.
Wow,
It's and yeah.
I
It was
lost
30 rock,
literally
the pen thing.
Oh, okay.
thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because I hired a guy to do just that, and he got it wrong.
Oh,
So I got a bunch of money back early when I was streaming through a company, and then that company would put the money in my PayPal,
and it just
and
sat.
PayPal would then give me a 1099 saying that I got it. So what this guy did
Oh, okay.
is he thought he was right, but he then told the government, okay, he made all this money from the first person, and then he just took PayPal and said, and he also made all this money. So the government went, oh, well, they made a shit ton more money than we thought, so we're going to charge you for all of that money. And I had no idea, obviously, until I, got a new guy, and they looked at the taxes and they were like, wait, they never said that the money in the PayPal was the money that came from this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but the government knew. They knew exactly how much money I made.
So
and then when
stupid.
they knew.
I hate it. I hate it.
But they
so
still were
much.
like, oh, you screwed up. That's too bad. I guess we're gonna have to charge you a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's real
Mm.
dumb. And this is kind of only a contractor thing. Like the chat's pointing out, if you are a salaried employee, you get a single form every single year.
Yeah.
And then you have a handful of deductibles if you're married or you have a kid or a dependent or anything. And that's it. It's pretty standard. For streamers, it's like, well, good luck.
Yeah.
You go and talk to someone. Or
Like
really
many
anyone that
things-
works on contractor basis.
Like many things in our industry, official systems and machinations have no idea how to deal with us.
yeah.
Be it DMCA or taxes or anything. Like everything about what we do is so new that there's no proper way to do it. So they just, do whatever works for their archaic systems, and
Yeah.
it's a mess.
It's a
I,
nightmare.
yeah, it's become like in the last, I don't know, 7-8 years that this has been my income. Like my Twitch related things have been my income.
Yeah.
It's been like, all right, I got to take 2 days off from streaming,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go through because I mean, I should go through it. I mean, probably should go through it every month, and just it's a lot less
It'll
time.
cut down on
But
time. Right.
of course, I don't do that. So I save it all for one day in April, which is April 14th, and I take all of my stuff and I go through every single fucking purchase, and I tell myself it's like there's only 365 days in a year, right? So at most, oh shit, at most it's gonna be 365 transactions, right? Like, yeah, but some days you do like 4 or 5, sometimes
adds up.
6, 7
Yeah.
transactions. So you just sit down one day, and just do it all, and it's tedious and it's terrible and I hate it, but like it's got to be done, and it actually is very beneficial if you do it item by item.
Oh yeah.
Uh, because you'll find shit in there that you like, deductibles and that kind of stuff. Speaking of that, I want to make something absolutely clear.
Okay.
That was brought up before in my channel. People are like, "Oh, but you buy games every," like I was talking about Indie Day, and just barely complaining that every time I do Indie Saturday, like I have to, buy the games. Like I buy like 4 or 5 different games every Saturday.
Right.
And I was like, buy. Of course you, and I talk shit like, you guys voted for the $30 game rather than the $5 game. Of course you did. Blah blah blah.
Sure.
Like, well, can't you just write them off? It's like, writing things off isn't a thing. You don't write things off.
You don't get it for free. That's not how that works.
You deduct them.
Yeah.
And just to make it absolutely clear, like, shit that you deduct is somewhere between 12 and 17% like discount, if you want to look at it like that. So like if I buy $100 game or $100 item that is for work, I'll get $12 to $17 off that item.
Right.
At the end of the taxes.
Yep. Yeah. Zeke, the trick I learned real early on, I'm sure you've already been told this, just get 2 accounts. Have one account that's only for business purchases. Have another account that's only for personal purchases. And then every year you don't have to go through that because you just say, this account is all business purchases. And then you
I waited
write this
way
off.
too long to do that.
Yeah.
But the real pro tip, and this honestly goes for
kind of
who
anyone.
has a
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
The real pro tip is do it with a credit card.
Yes, that's what I did.
That way, that way, you have your checking account for all of your stuff, and then you've got your credit card that's only work purchases, and that way you're getting cash back on it. It's all in one place.
And it's
like I literally
itemized.
these days. Oh yeah, exactly. I just give all of my credit card receipts to the tax people that do my taxes now, and they just take all of that and they're like, "Cool, this is all work stuff."
Yep.
Makes it super easy. But yeah, that goes for anything. Like, that's not just streaming. Anything where you can deduct, which comes from if you work from home, a lot of your stuff can be deducted.
That's true.
But that's the thing, like, almost like working from home, there's a giant amount of stuff that normally would be for, personal stuff that you can actually deduct,
Yep. It gets real
And
stupid
that's
when they're
why
like, what's the square footage of your office? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Well, you need to go measure because we could write that off and then we tie that to your mortgage. It's like,
Dude, they can even factor in like your HVAC and bills.
Yep.
Like they can percentage take that off depending on
can.
how big your office is. Like like the renovation that I'm doing. I renovated an office into my house. So like there's all sorts of tax implications for that I have to sort.
I think we
So-
can write off a percentage of our kitchen because we use it for Whiskey Sweet because we remodeled that.
Yep.
I just haven't
Damn.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Do you ever?
Yeah, yes, for those talking in chat, these are nice problems to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of
Working
course.
from home in general is awesome.
Yeah. Super
so-
Yeah,
privileged.
I mean, no one's arguing that we don't live a dream life. It's
Yeah,
pretty
for
good.
sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. But do you guys ever go out to dinner with or probably not lately, but in the past, and you're like, excuse me, Twitch, business lunch.
Every once in a while. Yeah. Usually,
IRS, I'm kidding,
I
don't
wasn't
do that.
aware
I'm
we
joking.
could eat
That's a
outside of
joke,
our
IRS.
houses.
yeah, that's true. Well, you might be able to write your lunch off if you really want to get like crazy about it. If you eat your lunch while on stream, you could probably write that off.
random question that no one can answer because none of us are qualified. But with the pandemic and everything, like if you work a job at a business, like I worked IT for years, like for a school, right? Well, let's say during the pandemic and I started working from home.
Uh-huh.
Does that does that qualify for all the tax reasons? Like you're working from home at that point?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of accountants have gotten that very question the past 2 years.
Oh,
Slash
chat is
this year.
saying it does not.
Oh, okay, it does
Okay.
not.
That is an overwhelming wall of nope.
I guess
Okay.
it does. Does I wonder if it depends on if you're working for yourself rather than working for a company.
Yes,
That
that's
might
probably a
come into
big
play.
designation.
Yeah.
And I missed the first part of that question, Cohh.
Oh, I was just asking if you work for a company and then you are for any reason like the one I'm talking about being the pandemic, you are then forced to work from home. Does
Mhm.
that then have the same tax stuff as if you were to be a work from home person normally
Yeah.
with tax stuff? But Chad is saying that is not how it works. At least in the
Chance
US.
Yeah. In Canada, it's fair game. So in the
In
US, it's
Canada.
not. It's always
Canada
Canada's
rules.
fault. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good.
Tunes into a gaming broadcast, gets 20 minutes of taxes.
Yeah,
Man.
why not? Sure. It's tax season.
Are you not entertained, Chad?
That's how it goes.
Well,
I think every streamer is also the reason I think streamers get so nervous around tax season is because we're playing Price is Right, right? We're guessing that we're going to do it correctly and that we're not going to get audited. Because the first streamer to actually get audited, it might have already happened. They just weren't public about it. This could be a fucking field day to watch them go through that.
Oh, it's happened.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely happened.
It's a giant thing. It's a fiesta.
well, it's a widespread. I think it's the first widespread public facing like private contracting system that a lot of people are now aware of. Like,
yeah,
we get taxed one time at the end of the year. They don't take it out of our paycheck because we don't get a paycheck.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember the first time I was doing karaoke. I was a karaoke DJ for 3 years, and I remember the first time I was a private contractor, so they didn't take any taxes out when they gave me my check.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, they were like, "You owe this," and I went, I don't have it. I don't. That's a lot. It's like, yeah, that's a whole year's worth of taxes that you have to pay right now.
Yep. Pay up.
Okay.
Give us that check, motherfucker. Yep.
Yeah. That's the first piece of advice for anybody doing private contracting, not on a paycheck or employed by someone else, self-employed. Quarterly. Pay in quarterly.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to be like really stung at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They'll make you do it over a certain amount. I don't know what it is.
Here's a
They'll
fun
make you do
question.
quarterly.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Here's a fun question. If you gift a sub to the IRS, is it considered a bribe?
The IRS would have to have a Twitch account. Is
What
there an
if they do?
IRS Twitch account?
What if they do?
Like,
Who owns
what?
at IRS?
Twitch.
I bet it's that old wrestler,
IRS.
I'm going there.
Oh, it
says-
doesn't exist.
I think it's one of those disabled accounts that no one can
Probably.
own.
It's only 3 letters too.
Oh.
Can you have a 3-letter?
Uh,
The_IRS. Oh, that's a person. So I wonder if you. There it is, right
you
there.
should just go around saying, "We are the IRS. You owe us a gifted sub."
That would probably.
Or taxes, one sub.
That's good. Just do it every
Like
4
pulling that
quarters,
cash card.
or every quarter rather. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Wow.
By the way,
Anyways.
for anyone talking, like asking about, like, why are we talking about this? This show is not about gaming. It's about streaming life, like, and all of that. I think encompasses.
Yeah. Well, I
that
think
kinda
more recently in the past, I would say 100 episodes, it's also about the three of us. It's about our lives, right? It's
True.
less about the actual whatever this show set out to be 7 years ago. Things change. That's how it goes.
Not
Mhm.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's exactly right.
Damn, dude. On time, man.
We can't
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
we need
games
the
though.
theme shows every week, right?
Yeah, we did used to do theme shows. That was a thing early on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But then we talked about every theme, and now it's just like, well, I guess we're gonna meet together on Sunday and see
Yeah,
what we can talk
We're gonna
about.
talk about now. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about video games.
Yeah.
Or maybe our lives.
Maybe taxes. That'll be a
There
good
you
time.
go.
Exactly. Here's a fun question. I want to see how what's the word? Formulaic Cohh is in his answer. Hey Cohh, did you hear about the new Witcher game?
I did.
What are your thoughts on the new Witcher game, Cohh?
Cool.
Did you get asked this shit? I saw it in your title, and I know that's when I
Wait a
hit my
minute.
limit. When it's in your when you have a command on a bot for your your reaction to news. That's when
No,
I'm
Are
just like,
you?
mods,
I
clip
real
this.
real talk, real talk. I am thrilled. Like I knew we knew it was coming. They specifically announced that it was Geralt's ending for Witcher 3, that it was
Yep.
not the end of The Witcher. So we knew it was coming. I thought it was cool to tease a little bit. But here's the thing. The last time that CDPR did a teaser, I mean, it was the Cyberpunk thing. We didn't see Cyberpunk for like another what, 5 years, 6 years. Like I'm hyped they're making a new Witcher. I can't wait to hear more about it. I loved Witcher 3 and I can't wait to see where they're going with this. But at the same time, it's like realistically, it's gonna be probably years until we hear more about it.
5 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean, get excited, but this is not way too early to start cheering kind of thing. Like they're not even done with Cyberpunk.
That's right.
They got a lot of work they need to do on it. They have expansions they got to do. They have side studios that are now working on stuff. We're probably gonna see a lot of promotion there. So it's probably gonna be like someone just said in chat. They beat me to it. Probably gonna be like a PS7 launch title. So we've got time. We've got time.
It's true. Some of the
I thought you were answering that question from JP like Geralt.
oh.
No, I just would have gone winds howling. That would have been it.
I'm so happy.
That's the whole thing. That's the answer. That's
I'm
it.
bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have an erection.
I don't remember that line.
Well, that's how he would say it.
You just had to listen, JP. You had to
Maybe-
feel
yeah.
through it. You
Chat
had to
said
read
I
between
missed
the
all
lines a
good
little
stuff in
bit.
the side quest, and apparently they were right.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't see
I have
that
a
part.
raging erection.
Some of the big announcements, apart from it being a new saga beginning, is that they're going to be using Unreal Engine 5. It's exciting. Anytime a company
And it's
I think
not
says
going to
that.
be an exclusive.
Yes.
They announced
Yeah,
that
it's
too.
not an exclusive
Get
to
that
Epic.
out there.
They also said that. And then they came out after the fact and clarified that this is a brand new school. This is the Lynx, I think is what
Lynx.
yeah. So
School of the Lynx.
we'll see what that is all about in about 5 years.
Also, let me find the exact quote. Not only did they officially announce that it was not on Epic, but I think they also made sure to announce specifically it was not Witcher 4, which I found interesting.
Really? Let's-
Yeah, let me see
Oh,
if I can
God,
actually
are they gonna just-
find.
Are they just going to
Fuck it
call
all
it The
up and just-
Witcher?
I think what they're trying to say is they're kind of like rebooting everything. That they're gonna be making like this is a new story about a new thing. So like it's a Witcher project, obviously, but it's not like the fourth iteration.
Is it
It's
gonna be
something
called,
new
like-
and it's gonna be its own thing.
Something, a Witcher story?
Or, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, let me find it here. I found the guy that posted it, but let me find the tweet.
Witcher
Box 1S.
There you go.
Of course, now I lost it because it's lost in the
Was it
drama.
from the,
Okay, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
It was from Game Boski, who is Radek. He's a global PR director at CD Projekt Red,
Okay.
and his the exact quote from the tweet is, "What we have not announced today is a game exclusive to one storefront and a game called The Witcher 4." So
Got it. Okay.
they made a point to say this is not Witcher 4. So
Yeah.
we don't know. It's probably going to be a mobile pinball game.
I like Wild Skunk's The Witcherer.
I like that. That's pretty good.
That should be
Yes,
it.
that's
And then
good.
The Witcherest will be the last one.
Witcher
That'd
Andromeda.
be good.
A lot of good names. A lot of good names. This is why they didn't announce any actual names, so they could steal them from Twitch chat, which are everyone knows the best
Very
ideas.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're just letting chat name stuff. So yeah. That was Monday when all that stuff came out. And then I think the funniest part about that is like Cyberpunk still exists. They still haven't announced DLC for that. It's in a lot better. Didn't the patch come out this past week or maybe 2 weeks ago?
There was a big patch
Yeah.
recently that added in the apartments and the first free DLCs, which are just like some
Oh,
poses and customization and stuff
had
like
to do it.
that. It's not much, but I mean, I think the Witcher franchise also had like mini DLCs at times. We have not heard anything about the new expansion yet,
Hmm.
and they have said that they're still working on adding stuff in, which is very good. Also, the thing that still got me super interested is they did find hints of a transmog system, so I'm hoping that they will at some point get that, and that's what'll get me to do my second playthrough. I think
Yeah.
is if they can actually get a
A
working transmog
transmog.
system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
So you're not running around like a clown. That's still the
God,
funniest part
dude.
of that game for me.
I'll never forget. Like I don't remember exactly what it said, but I remember equipping something that had the best stats, and like it was like a hot pink shirt tank top that said "bitch" on it or
Yeah.
something. And I was like, I am so not okay with this,
Yeah.
man. Like,
I
and
I remember,
I had like
man.
cowboy boots on or something.
I
Like
remember
it
finishing that
was,
game and I'm wearing hot pants with like a sweater and some
yeah.
cowboy boots and like a full on visor. And it's you're like the end of the
Okay,
cyberpunk
okay.
saga.
What's the point of transmog in a first person game? Because I know what I'm wearing. I
Yeah,
know. And if I know that I'm running around in this cool world with a hot pink shirt that says bitch on it, that reduces my enjoyment of my immersion.
that's
Okay.
true.
I know.
Every
That's
time
what
you hit
matters.
tab or I or whatever.
Every time.
Yeah,
I know. Oh my lord. It's personal, man.
it's
It's
true.
personal.
It's true.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Anyways.
that's where we are with it.
So
But yeah, no, the patch did have a whole lot of new enhancements. It had the next gen update, which apparently is good. Demo's over, but they did a 5 hour demo people could do. Apparently, a lot of people liked it.
Hmm.
Said it was running a lot better. So I mean, the game. There's no question the game's in a much better place. It's not where it needs to be. They still got to work on it, but it's in a much better place.
Yeah. What were you saying, Zeke?
I was going to say nothing. I was
Okay.
actually going to say something about the pink shirt that said "bitch" on it. Just reminded me of that Hagger's quote, but it has nothing. It's not even quote. Not even close. So.
Okay. All right. Small little tidbit of news. The Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was delayed to next spring. That was a little bit of news. A lot of big delays coming out for games that are supposed to come out this year, which has me kind of worried for, what the fuck we're actually going to play for the rest of the year. But still have a
Or hell,
couple big ones out there.
just the next 2 months.
Yeah, that's true. And then the big news is apparently Sony is going to be unveiling the PlayStation Game Pass equivalent potentially this week.
Spartacus.
It's called Spartacus, codename Spartacus. Yeah. Here's the funniest part is that there's a bunch of different facets of it, but one of the facets, possibly the biggest one, is that the new service, according to Bloomberg.ca, the new service is not expected to feature its biggest titles on the day they come out. So you're still going to have to pay full price. And to that, I say, what the fuck's the point then? How can you combat
So
Microsoft if you don't have your first party games for free on the service? Like what?
what's hilarious is they're already they've already like exclusivized these little 3-day head starts for Sony. Like you can play it on PC on this date or on console 3 days early. And it's like, I wonder if they're going to do that to themselves, where it's like you can play it on console at this time, or you can buy it on our service and play it on this time. And it's kind of like you're literally exclusivizing your own content on your own services,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which is
This
wild.
is, we should be clear. This is all rumor. So maybe it will be fully, maybe they'll have their big titles, their first party titles, on the day they come out. It's also supposed to be rumored to be tiered. So different levels that you can buy into this thing gives you, I guess, certain access, to different
More
things.
games for more money kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. They're saying Sony's new service will combine two of its current offerings, PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. Customers will be able to choose from multiple tiers, offering catalogs of modern games and classics from older PlayStation eras. So it's not going to be a one-stop thing, kind of like Game Pass. Though I guess there's Ultimate, but that bundles in PC and Xbox stuff. But if you want to play the classic stuff, maybe you have to get Spartacus Classic or whatever this ends up being called. I don't know. It seems.
When is all this?
When
When are they announcing the details?
They're supposed to announce it as soon as this next week. Greg Miller was out there on Twitter this morning saying that they have a bunch of big announcements this week. So we might get some state of play stuff announced tomorrow. Maybe they'll be
Cool.
showing some first party things, talking about whatever this is. Could be a fun week in that realm, but I really worry that if they don't launch the service with day one, you know, Sony access first party games, that's going to be not received well.
Xbox Game Pass is the elephant in the room, and it is giant and it is very present. If they even want to be somewhat of a competitor, they're not only going to have to match it, but bring more. Like the traction is already. It's like other services trying to compete with Twitch. Like even if you bring all the tools, like if you don't have more than Twitch has, then you're just going to eventually fizzle out. Like
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of competitors are over and over. So if they don't put their best foot forward, man, like having big titles and all that kind of stuff, I don't see how they're gonna pull this off.
Yeah. There was GDC happened, and at GDC, one of the panels was a panel talking about Game Pass. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but essentially, Game Pass is just absurd when it comes to getting new people to play your game. Something like, I think it was 3 times lift across the board. For indies, it was 8 times the amount of people checking out your stuff. It's made like billions of dollars for indie developers across everything. Um, yeah, it's insane. It's obviously doing well, and I think elephant in the room might be like understating it in a weird way of how like impactful and how big it is, which is why Sony's probably trying to respond with whatever this Spartacus program is that they're potentially going to unveil this week. But it's tough. I don't know how they match it, right? Like Xbox has already had these conversations with all these partners and all these publishers and all these developers, and then Sony's going to try to swoop in and deliver a different
Comparable service.
solution. Yeah, and at some point,
Keyword the thing is they're gonna want to do is they're gonna want somebody who has enough money for one of these services to pick their service. They don't want to be an addendum service. They want to be the go-to service.
yeah,
So it's like, how are they possibly going to compete? I mean, like at this point, Game Pass has roots. Like
it
there's roots
does.
everywhere. And I mean, and we've had Microsoft slowly acquiring studios for like 5 years, and not only in the background but in the foreground as well. So yeah, like it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild because if you think about this, especially if you think like a decade ago, like thinking that Microsoft is where it is now, and is how slowly they kind of just snowballed down the hill. Like they're in a great place now.
Oh yeah,
They made a lot of good moves over the years. But yeah, that's true. As chat's saying, Sony does have the first parties, and that's always going to carry them. The thing is especially if they distance their first parties from a service like this, like that's like one of the worst
that's the
things they
ball
could
game,
do.
in my
That's the
opinion.
ball game.
Yeah,
Imagine if they released a service like this where if you got the service, you got those games early,
yeah,
like
like 3 days
before
or
people
something.
that bought them. You get a 3-day head start if you play it on their service. Like the reverse of what it sounds like they're doing. Like all of a sudden everyone's getting that.
Yep.
Like, oh man.
Yeah, and they've already toyed around a little bit, though that might have been the publishers pushing for that with like Ghostwire Tokyo. You got it 3 days earlier if you bought the deluxe edition
Hmm.
for $80 instead of $70 or whatever it was. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that was
Did you
Sony or
guys
if that was Bethesda, but yeah,
did you guys already like talk about if like this is going to be a console only idea, or is it going to be like Xbox is on PC as well,
yeah. It might be
or
one of
Game
those
Pass?
tiered systems. I don't know where like maybe the higher tier, kind of like Ultimate, is $15 a month. Maybe there's a PlayStation tier where you get
They
access to
have
some of their.
PS Now on PC.
They do, yeah,
They
yeah.
do. So it would be interesting if they made a push in that regard. That would be very interesting. Like
But you
that's
can't
that's
play.
something.
Can you play any PlayStation games on PC?
Yeah, PS Now app is on PC. Like if right now, if you look like if you go to PS Now, PlayStation Now on PC, get instant access to a huge on-demand game collection of Windows PC. Now the thing is I'm pretty sure this is a
It's streaming.
streaming
It
service.
doesn't run it
Yeah,
natively. Yeah,
so it's
it
not
streams it.
native. Now,
Oh,
if they were to announce a native kind of thing, that could be big. But um,
okay.
yeah, it's a different thing. It's
Yeah,
a different.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, to clear it up in chat, yes, it is not. It is not native running. You cannot just play PlayStation games on PC. It's a streaming.
yeah. So
I remember when it came out, we tried it. I remember trying PS Now on PC, and it was not quite good enough for me to use.
yeah, there was a little
That's
bit
what
of
I'm.
latency. I mean, kind of as there always is going to be in that regard. Sony bought what was it, Gaikai, which was like one of the original streaming solutions, and they haven't done too much apart from PlayStation Now with it. And I don't really know that many people that like use or utilize PlayStation now. Most people just have the physical disc or buy it digitally or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know what the other Miller was saying. There's like 2 or 3 other announcements. So maybe like a state of play for God of War or something with an announcement for holiday season. I don't know. Sony has been capturing the news cycles with their state of plays, or trying at least. That the first one didn't go over so well. The Hogwarts one definitely captured the news cycle for about 48 hours when they showed Hogwarts Legacy or whatever. But that might have been for other reasons as well, mainly it being a Harry Potter game in 2022. Uh, but we'll leave that alone and move forward. So we'll cover the news whenever PlayStation announces that on JPNN, and then we'll discuss it at length, most likely next week, as well as whatever else they are announcing. That's kind of it. We had Amazon Game Studio head step down. Last name was Frazzini. First name, I don't know, but he's gone. So do we need to know it? Mike was his first name. He's gone. He's leaving the company. Yeah.
Isn't that the guy from Princess Bride, Frazzini? Waiting for
Maybe so. Maybe so. He said the executive told staff Friday, according to Bloomberg, that he was leaving to focus on family, according to Amazon spokesman Ryan Jones. Part of me wonders if he was like, hey, you didn't deliver that well, apart from Lost Ark, which I think is delivering. I think Lost Ark's doing like pretty well for them. But New World,
They had a little speed bump. But
New
they seem to
World,
be doing
yeah,
okay.
that was a different thing. That was the
Yeah,
different thing.
New World was theirs. Lost Ark isn't theirs.
Right.
Lost Ark is them just capitalizing on something someone else made. They're
Yeah.
doing it well.
Yep.
But yeah, their own thing didn't really work out.
It's true. It's true. What else? Any other news that you guys saw you want to bring up? It's been 2 weeks. I kind of forgot what happened last week. I'm only looking at this past week. It's been kind of quiet. Video games have come out. People are probably laying low till whatever E3 is this year. Summer Game Fest, whatever, sometime in June. Yeah.
Just under 3 months.
Yeah. I guess you are right.
Yeah.
That is about 3 months out.
Did either of you watch the Harry Potter stuff?
I did. Yeah.
What was it?
The game looks good. The environments look better than almost anything else. I think the animation and stuff is still probably pretty early, but it looks like a fairly competent open world Harry Potter, and people that are into that universe are pretty happy with how everything looks in the game. I think that alongside anything Harry Potter themed in 2022 comes with a whole lot of luggage, and that's like something you have to unpack.
That.
Yeah,
You got to put that on the every ad on the Walmart shelves. Like, absolutely no money going to J.K. Rowling, which it's not going to happen. But like,
yeah,
yeah.
like
this was not made by her. This was made by us before all this shit. So come on.
Yeah. It's not good, obviously, when the creator of the IP is just a complete piece of shit.
It's very Minecraft-esque, where it's like, notched in a bunch of things, and everyone like basically did their best to cancel them, and then Microsoft is doing with that, and now we have Hogwarts Legacy, where a huge amount of people absolutely hate J.K. Rowling for numerous things she said, and now people are trying to kind of boycott that as well. So we've had this conversation a few times in the channel where it's and this is not just about gaming. This is about a lot of things these days. You basically just have to measure. It's no longer black and white. You have to take into account like lots of factors. Like, you hate J.K. Rowling enough and what she represents to say that all the work of the hundreds and hundreds of people that had nothing to do with her that made this game to just completely discredit and not do that.
Right.
So it's like it's definitely a lot deeper than just like a binary question, like a yes or no. Like, there's so many more levels to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a thing.
Yep. I think that's a proper way to put it. That being said, the game itself looks competent. They also came out and said no microtransactions, which for Warner Brothers, I think is a bigger deal than a lot of people are talking about, because like Mortal Kombat 11 had microtransactions where you could move forward in like whatever their RPG, the crypt was or whatever. You could buy things for that. So the fact that they're not including that type of thing, and something that they probably could actually put in there, and general mainstream Harry Potter fans would be like, oh, that's fine, whatever. It wouldn't. You'd get some pushback, but I don't know. I was surprised to see them come out and say that, especially when they showed the room of requirement. If you know what Harry Potter is, you know what that room is. And in that room, it's kind of like a build your own room type scenario. You can go out and like build a house, and so there's going to be some sort of housing. They could very well charge for all that cosmetic shit in there, like, but apparently they're not. So we'll see. We'll see what if they stick to that.
Oh, and for the record, I think we're all purposefully not bringing up drama associated with this game. I think we'd appreciate if you guys. So just trust me. Everyone has their opinions on this, and there's plenty of places on the internet to do it. We're just talking about the game.
Yes.
Talking about the game right now.
Yeah.
Not all the shit storm associated with it. So.
It's true. And the
classy.
The reason that I'm doing that is because it's not a conversation I think we're equipped to have, let alone wanting to dive into that for 40 minutes or so. There's a lot. You can research it. You can do your Googling and figure it out. Also, we didn't mention this in the news, that Halo TV show started. Did either of you watch it? Are either of you going to watch it? I watched the first episode.
No. How was it?
It's the first 20 minutes first 25 minutes are great. It's Halo. It's also weird Halo because like the show starts out, you meet a bunch of like they're on a planet, not Earth. You meet a bunch of like refugees and stuff, and they're talking about how they're resistance and how they've been fighting the USMC and like the Spartans are kind of like the bad guys is what they're framing it to be. And so they go outside and you meet like the daughter of this like famous rebellion leader that was in the bar where they were talking. You go outside, you meet his daughter, and she's this planet is apparently one of the sources of
real quick. Not too many spoilers?
No. This is all the first 20 minutes of the show.
Okay.
Yeah. You go out and you meet his daughter, and they're on a planet where it's hydrogen mining. It's like a big one of the best planets for mining hydrogen or some shit. And it also grows drugs on this planet. So these 5 kids do drugs. They do this like hydrogen drug, and then they look up and they see a like a Covenant looking ship. They're like, oh, that's weird. And the girl like walks towards the Covenant ship, and she sees a elite walking around, and she's like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Like, never have seen it before, I guess, type deal. She walks back, she runs away a little bit, and then they're all talking there amongst the kids. And literally out of nowhere, a plasma rifle shot comes in and just disintegrates one of the kids. Just blood, gore, gibbed. She's gone. The person just explodes. You're like, oh shit, they're doing, this is like full on blood in a Halo thing. That's really weird. Then a couple more shots come in and they just keep exploding. Everyone dies.
I will say after hearing that, I think we may need to kind of like get on the same page about what a spoiler is.
That's not a spoiler. It's a random, non-important character in the first 20 minutes of the show.
I got to side with Cohh on this one, JP. I'm sorry.
That's a spoiler?
It was a surprising event.
That's literally a surprising event that happens in the show that's supposed to surprise you when you see it.
I don't think that's a spoiler. Maybe after you watch it, you can tell me if it's a spoiler. But I don't know. I'll admit that maybe it's a spoiler, but I don't think it is personally after watching the show. I'm only going to do that so I don't have to hear it from chat. But.
You realize I'm going to watch this and I see now the whole time be like, is this the part with the girl? Is this the part with the girl? Is that her? Is that her? Is that her?
It sounded like Rick James. It's now like when he's talking about his kids, like, no, I didn't grind my feet on his couch. Yeah, I grinded my feet on his couch.
My rebuttal to all this is everyone that's saying it's a spoiler was never going to watch the show in the first place.
Well,
so I'm not afraid of spoiling it for people.
It's been out like 3 days
or something.
What was that, Z?
Isn't it on like fucking Paramount Plus or something?
It is, yeah. Which you can actually get a month free on Game Pass if you want it.
Oh, okay.
But it also has
I mean,
ads,
like,
so
you're one of the. Oh, okay. I guess if you can get it for free, I guess some people probably get it that way. But like, I'm not fucking getting Paramount Plus.
You can watch Yellowstone if you get Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna get Paramount Plus to watch Yellowstone, which is at best I've heard a mediocre show.
Yeah,
I'm still paying for Mandalorian Plus.
it's true.
They got me good there,
But
man.
dude, like I
There's
go
other
back
stuff
every
there.
once in a while and watch the Marvel shit. Like, Disney Plus has become just Marvel stuff for me. You don't get
Yeah.
into the Marvel shit, do you, Cohh?
No, Cohh doesn't watch any of that.
Yeah.
Which is why I can totally spoil that for him as well. Cohh,
There's this guy named Thanos, and he does this thing with his hands. Yeah.
anyways, I don't think it's a
I think
spoiler.
he's in some sort
stand
of
by that.
like doo-wop group because he's snapping all the time. Like
That's correct. He's a member of a boy band. So, anyways, after that scene, you're like, okay, there's a bunch of gore in this, which you don't expect in a Halo show, which probably was maybe the best way to cover that.
Is it animated?
No, it's full live action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
And then I guess I guess I can't talk about the show why people don't like it. There are things that happen in the show that people don't like that don't happen to Master Chief in general. And so a lot of people are against it. At its best, I think it's fine. We'll see what happens in episode 2 that comes out this next week. I think a lot of journalists already have seen episode 2, and they said it doesn't get any better. So we shall see. But it's Halo. They got a bunch of Halo stuff in there. I don't know. Covenant looked cool. We didn't see any grunts. There's no grunts in it. I'm curious if they're going to cover that stuff. Because grunts are kind of jokey in the game. So I don't know how that's going to work in... like, how do you put a grunt in live action? Are they just walking around with plasminades making dumb jokes?
Hey, I'd be there for that. Just saying,
Maybe
I think
that's the
that'd be
best
great.
part. Yeah.
Oh man, I've been loving that in Tiny Tina. There's multiple different like genres of grunts in Tiny Tina, which has been. I keep like drawing the parallel between them. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. But it's okay. It's like a 6 or 7 if you're looking for a score on a show. And episode 2 doesn't get better. There's 9 episodes, I think, this season. So we'll see what happens. All I'm saying, if they call a show Halo and we don't see a fucking Halo, like, I'm gonna be pretty upset. Like, they gotta get here, and that better not be like the end of season deal, where it's like, oh,
Apparently
it's the Halo.
they're making the show specifically not based on the game, right? Like they're making up new lore for the
they're
show.
calling it like a different story of Master Chief and of Halo.
Yeah, wasn't there like some like a little bit of like not controversy, but a little bit of like buzz about like them talking about we didn't play the game. We didn't want it to be anything like the game.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like a quote from one of the
I don't know if it was the lead writer or if it was the showrunner or something, but they said they didn't want to follow the game. They didn't play the game. Some didn't the game, and that of course the internet was like, what the fuck? Just freaked out.
To be fair though, that's just lazy.
Yeah,
like if you're gonna make a show about something, to be proud about saying that you haven't made the game when that's what it's based on, that's just absolutely freaking lazy. Like there's no way to just even know what they've done already.
Yeah,
like it's just that's insanity. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Someone said I'm taking that out of context, and that's probably, I wasn't trying to fall one way or the other. I just noticed some like tweets with like the little like picture of what they were quoted as saying or whatever.
Yeah, it's not you play all the stuff. At least have someone play all the stuff on the team so they can report back to you like what stories they've told in the games.
A lot of good points in chat, by the way. It is kind of insulting to gamers too, where they're just like, yeah, I care so little about your medium.
Right.
Like, let me just take what you have in that medium I don't like, and I'll put it into a decent medium.
It's very true.
It's very kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very true. But we'll see. I'm gonna keep watching it at least. There's enough action sequences, and Master Chief when he keeps his helmet on is kind of a badass. But then I don't know what they did. They take his helmet off and you're like, who the fuck is this actor? Why the fuck do you have a head? Why do you have a face like a normal human being? It's kind of weird to see that. So
it's also kind of wild that with the last game especially, they did such a great job of having him say so little and making it be so impactful. Like we're going such this interesting, cool direction with the game. and then all of a sudden it's like, hit the brakes, backtrack, back it up, and it's like, let's do, it's just it again, just weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Oh, apparently that was another spoiler. Yeah. Well.
I mean, look, I knew all this stuff from chat telling me before I went in, so like, I don't know. I didn't think any of that was a spoiler, but whatever. If I ruined the show for you, you weren't going to watch anyways, and I'm sincerely apologetic if you were. But I don't think it's that much of a spoiler.
I don't believe your apology, JP. Something about your demeanor says like.
I mean, I'm never gonna win in that case.
I love you, dude. I absolutely love you, man.
Yeah,
you're my favorite.
Now I don't believe that.
I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading chat, looking at all the spoilers.
Oh yeah. I just also want to add. I absolutely loved you use the. Someone spoiled me, so I mean, I'm going to spoil you.
Well, I didn't think it was a spoiler when I heard it to begin with. I don't know. I knew. I guess I was clued into the conversation around that, because everything that I talked about, I knew before I even watched the show.
You know what? I think you did. I'm going to go watch Halo now. I think you enriched my experience.
There you go.
I do. I think my experience is going to be enriched by this. I'm going to have a little bit more context. I'm going to be able to structure the show better in my head. Thank you. Thank you for what you said.
I personally hate surprises, so thank you, JP.
Yeah, I know. Exactly, right? I hate not knowing what's coming. I mean, I
find them jarring and uncomfortable.
There you go.
So I'm glad.
There you go. Now you guys don't have to watch Halo. I'll just give you the
I don't even need to watch it anymore. Exactly. Maybe
you don't have to pay for Paramount Plus at all.
You know what? That would actually be great. So I can avoid paying for Paramount Plus.
I don't even...
tell me how the next episode of Yellowstone and Halo go every week.
Well, we're on break, but I've got 4 seasons of spoilers of Yellowstone if you want to know.
4 seasons of YouTube been on?
Yeah.
I want a YouTube video. JP dramatically tells the first episode of Halo, and I haven't even said Ted Lasso either. So if you could do the whole show Ted Lasso beginning to end.
Now Ted Lasso I won't talk about. Because I actually like that show. That's the difference there. Yeah.
Some people, Chad. Some people. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No, it's like it's everybody has those things. Everybody has those things that are like, sacred to them, and then the things they don't really care a whole lot about and stuff like that. JP will say like, I didn't think that was a spoiler, yada yada. But I've been sitting next to JP in a theater, chatting friendly, and during the previews, and JP leans over to me and says something to the effect of, "If you talk during this movie, I will end you."
I think, I don't know what exactly I said. It was something to that nature. It might have been actually more dire than what you just said.
Oh no, you said I think you said I'll lose my shit.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Yeah.
It's 2022 now. So if it was today, it would be like, I will get you canceled.
I will kill you in game is the proper 2022 statement. Yeah.
Well, what were we watching? Was it? Wasn't Black Panther?
Think might have been. I think because we definitely saw some Star Wars films together. It might have been Black Panther.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think you're right.
Yeah, and I think we talked. Yeah, I remember us talking about it afterwards, and you're like, "That was fucking magnificent." And I was like, "That's pretty good." Like middle of the road for MCU.
Look,
and you're like, fucking kidding me?" And I'm like,
my Marvel stuff is either
am I way off base here?
By being a Marvel IP, it's already like an 8 or 9. So it's a little bit, a little easy for me to be like, "That was incredible" afterwards. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
I did talk to you right afterwards, and I was gonna say, and your erection had just gone down. So like,
it's true. We had to stick in the theater a little bit longer. I couldn't stand up and walk around there. It was.
Yeah, he had to keep the popcorn on his lap a bit.
Yeah.
It's always awkward to have to do the belt tuck around friends.
It's true.
Well, that is the thing.
The awkward part is that I made them leave the theater so that I could belt tuck and then leave myself. Yeah, that was the crux there. Anyways, I think that's it for the spoiler. I mean, for the news. I don't think there's anything else. that we need to.
This has been a great episode. Can I just say?
Yeah.
I
Taxes
laughed
and
pretty hard.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just said in chat, decadent austerity. First taxes and now this.
There you go. Well, it's a wide ranging show. We got about 25 minutes. Cohh, did you finish Ghostwire Tokyo? That's about a 25-minute convo.
No, not yet. I want to
Really?
though. Like what happened for me is a bunch of games came out at once. So I've kind of
They did.
I'm on run 3 of Elden Ring. So like and it's been a thing. So I do want to finish Ghostwire Tokyo. I think I'm near the end. Did you finish it?
It took me 7 hours. Yeah, I didn't. I breezed right through that
Wow.
game. Which is that's why I want to talk to you about it, because how long have you spent in the game?
Let me check Steam real quick.
Yeah, I think the title for this episode, non sequitur. I think the
8.8.
title.
Go ahead.
I just think the title for this episode should be "Taxes, Spoilers, and Boners." That's good.
Yeah, that's
not
good.
remove the boners.
Okay.
For some reason, I think dicks would be like less ad. I don't know. Maybe we'll play around with that. Anyways, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Play around with the never mind. Nope, stop it. Yeah, I have.
We will.
I've got,
I wish I still sat
I've got-
next to you, Cohh. High five you. Hey, JP, high five him
just
for me.
smack his head.
You got
There
it.
we go. There, okay. Oh,
Eh,
wow.
I don't know where
that's really
my.
awkward.
Oh, this
okay.
is okay. There you go.
It'll
Yeah,
be
I don't know
beautiful.
where my fucking things are.
So anyway, I'm at 8.8 hours. I didn't necessarily rush the
8.8,
main story.
okay.
I actually did some side quests at the beginning, and then promptly realized that I didn't like the side quests.
Really?
Yeah,
Were they
almost
samey?
all of them. They were very samey. They were very basic. They were all like walk up, talk to a person, like do a little brief, generally less 5 to 10 minute thing, go back and get your reward. And it's like they were all pretty much identical. By the last side quest I did, it was so basic. I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm not feeling this at all.
There's a lot.
I think I'm just going to focus the main story.
Weird.
Um,
Okay.
And interestingly enough, we'll talk more about this when we talk about another game later in the show, but they definitely did not really hold my attention too much. The thing that I keep saying about this game is beautiful, and this game is weird in all the right ways. I really like its weirdness. I love its control-esque scenes when it totally messes with the environment.
Best part of the game.
Things are going wacky and easily the best part of the game. I wish a lot more of the game was like that. But there are other things about it that I'm not so jazzed about. The gameplay, honestly, for me has been I'm playing on the hardest, and it's been kind of the samey, and it's very formulaic. The upgrade system and stuff is relatively shallow. It's fun. It's fun, but I think a lot of that fun is coming from the really pretty world and getting between those really interesting, weird, wacky scenes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The side quests, again, I try to do the side quests. I actually thought at the beginning, maybe I'll 100% this if it's good enough. And after a good amount of side quests, I think I did maybe 4 or 5. I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to main the main story.
Huh.
It's just not doing it for me. I didn't feel like I was getting enough out of them for the time I was putting into them. More importantly, it wasn't really taking me to new parts of the world. Sometimes you go in a building and stuff, but other times you wouldn't at all. You just walk up to a shrine, and they actually showed this one in one of the gameplay things. Walk up to a shrine and a kappa jumps up, and then you just dance around it for 2 minutes, and then it picks up something and you suck it up and it's done, and then you talk to the NPC and it gives you a reward. It's just
Yeah.
why did I even do that? Very lackluster. So some very, very cool parts about the game, some incredibly unique parts about the game. I'm even enjoying the story. I think the story is wild, super out there, very engaging. It's actually the reason I want to go back and finish it, is I'm interested to see where the story goes. And then a lot of stuff just not very fleshed out.
Yeah, I echo and agree with that's pretty much my thoughts on the game too. I started hard in the game. The combat was the entire 7 hours never changed. It was backpedal, cast fireballs till I don't have fireballs anymore, then cast the wind stuff and kill the mob. And so about halfway through, day 1, I was on hard or normal or whatever. I forget which one actually. And then I put it down to super easy and just cruised my way through the end, because the combat never change at all. It's just varying HP values that the mobs take, and that's it.
I completely understand that, especially considering at the point of the game I'm at now, I'm frequently running out of ammo.
Yes,
Like
that's what was
the
happening.
mobs are so spongy that I'll just run out of ammo, and I don't really. I probably should get the abilities where if you melee, you get ammo back. But even then, like it from the little video, it looks like you only get 1 or 2 shots per. So it just seems very it just like you said, it's such a basic loop. All you're doing is extending the basic loop. You're not really adding too much difficulty on it. It's just a little bit more backpedaling and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little weird in that
If you
regard.
put it on easy and you do the fireball charge and you have the talisman that gives you 20% damage or whatever, you can like 4-shot the final boss with fireball charge. So
Yeah.
it gets pretty easy. But story's the best part by a very, very,
Mhm. Story I'm digging.
it's very, and yeah, story's the best part. I would say it's actually worth a playthrough if you're at all interested in the story. But put it on easy so you can kind of breeze through it in 6 to 7 hours. Um,
I've got to be close to the end. I think I'm close to the end. I'm like I'm gonna do the spoiler hand real quick.
I can put up spoiler text.
Just super quick. Just to tell you, I'm basically I'm midway through building a motorcycle.
Oh
So I
yes,
think
you're very close.
yeah, I'm guessing I'm pretty close to the end. Yeah.
You spoiler alerts are still up here. You'll hit a point of no return soon.
Okay.
The game basically they put like 3 in front of you. So it is chat's pointing out 6 or 7 hours kind of shit for a $7 game. If you rush through it, it's kind of, I paid $80 for early access, and in my tweet I was like, it's kind of shit to be honest. I paid $80 for a 7-hour game.
As someone pointed out in chat, this is definitely a game that suffered. Like the game director apparently left early
Yeah.
in the project, so there was all that stuff with it. So there's a very good chance that maybe exactly what we're talking about, things not being fleshed out, that may have been exactly what happened, is things didn't get fleshed out in the vision. You can tell there's parts of this game where a lot of care went into. There are parts of this game that are really well done, and there's just other parts that just aren't.
Yeah.
So
So I see, just to go off on a different tangent, I see that the deluxe edition includes the soundtrack, and usually when they do that, that means that they're pretty proud of it. Is it
I
sounds good?
I'm curious on Coh's answer here because he played the PC version and I played the PlayStation version. I couldn't tell you a song that plays during the game when you're just walking around. Like it's all ambience. No, it's like the sounds
Really?
of Tokyo. I don't recall ever hearing actual music. Coh, is that the same for you?
interestingly enough, I there's some I remember some music playing during combat.
Yeah, maybe
But here's the
true.
thing.
Oh, it's
Even
not
even
standout then for either of you. Wow.
even
okay.
then, I'm not hearing any songs in my head.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like there's I definitely was focused on other parts of this game significantly
Yeah.
than that.
I to reiterate once again, I played console. If you have any means of playing this on the PC, play it on PC. Not only the FPS, it wasn't a solid 60 at all times. Every once in a while, it would drop down pretty significantly. But for me, playing on a fucking controller and someone who actually enjoys playing other games on controllers, especially FPSs, I was crying the entire time. Like I just wanted a mouse and keyboard in this game. So
Kid
much.
Salute from my chat said Bike Man felt this game is much better on keyboard and mouse than on PC than on a controller. By
I
PS5.
100% agree.
Yeah, it feels fine on PC.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issue.
That being said, at least
Couldn't find my
What's
way into
this?
here. I was very disappointed.
What is-
God, the 420 cube.
Oh, the fucking tease!
I know,
Oh, come on! If this was a Yakuza game, you'd be in there watching videos or making
dude.
phone
I
calls.
know. I'd be running the place, Zeke. I'd be running it.
Yeah, there'd be new management.
Um,
We can rename it Good Vibes.
there you go.
That's right.
There you
Good
go.
vibes 420 instead of cute 42.
Do really well.
Mhm.
On console, if you, I think it was left L2 and you're like kind of aiming towards a creature, it would actually just straight up lock on. And so it wasn't that I was like failing or having a hard time aiming. I just didn't like how it felt on the actual sticks. Does PC have some sort of like lock in real quick mechanic code? Did you find anything like that, or did they just remove
If
that?
it did, I missed that part.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, not saying it doesn't. I didn't use that. The aiming is there is an auto aim setting. I
Okay.
did turn it off. Um, the aiming is relatively you need to be on point with the aiming.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say like the controls feel fine on PC. I really had no issues with the controls. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That
that was definitely one of the good to decent parts of it for sure.
play it on PC if you have the means to do so. Um, and if not, I think for me, this is I was telling everyone, grab it on sale. This is a sale game, especially how much there was to play for me.
I think some people will definitely get its full price value out of it if they decide to dive into the side content. If they like and do the side content, this game is very much one of those games where there's not a very strong, well, I don't know how strong it is. There's not a very long backbone
Mm,
where you can just rip through the main story. But I mean, every time you unlock a region and open your map, like
ton of
2 to
stuff.
4 little side quests pop up. So I mean, if you are going to dive into all that, there's easily probably I'd say 30ish hours with as many as I've seen up until now. Like there's a lot of stuff in there if you want to do it. Like I said though, I personally did a few of them and they didn't really seem my jam. Again, especially talking about like side questing in a game we're going to be talking about soon and how different they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if you want to do all that, there's probably a good amount of content in there. You'll probably get a good amount of time out of it. But if you're doing what me and JP are talking about, and just want to go through the main story, it is not nearly as long as
Yeah.
for that price.
Yeah.
Is there any
Um,
benefit to going to the side stuff? Like, do you get like power
Oh
ups
yeah,
or like little stuff? Okay.
you get
you
souls.
not only get power ups, but you get these things called magatamas, which
Oh,
are how
really?
you
Yeah.
unlock the more advanced abilities, which can be very useful. So, like a
Oh,
lot of abilities, you'll be able to get the base ability, and then there'll be like a little blocker that you have to spend magatamas on. And when you spend it on those, then you can get the more enhanced or final version of the ability. So, there's a good amount of those. Like there's good reasons to do side quests if you want to partake in
Yeah.
them. But again, it's just at that point comes down to how you want to spend your time in the game.
I didn't talk. We didn't even mention kind of the flow of the game. It's very open world, in the sense that there are towers that you go and essentially climb, cleanse, and when you do that, more of the map is unlocked, and then that unlocks more towers, and then as you do, and main story progression is essentially unlocking certain towers in certain areas to get to the main quest areas. Uh, and I thought that was kind of like old. Like I've played that game a billion times ultimately. And I found myself getting pretty bored with that. Another reason why I knocked the difficulty down so I could just go and kill the 3 guys in like 2 attacks, cleanse the
Yeah, and
tower, and then move forward.
it I'm a little hesitant calling it open world because you definitely don't have
Yeah.
access to the world. Like the way that it works is you start in like a very tiny area and
Right.
then you kind of very slowly unlock more portion. Like the area is covered in a substance, and then you have to cleanse the substance slowly from off the map. So like by the end of the game, it's open world, but like
It's true.
you are very limited in your progression, which
That's
is
very
it's
true.
an interesting mechanic. Yeah, for that regard. There's not a lot of games like that. That are in the shape of this, where you really can kind of go and do what you want. But even then, like they do kind of pretty linearly tell you which ones go where,
I guess
and
that's
you kind
true.
of progress through that.
Because if it was open world, you could go to those areas. They would just be harder mobs, but you could still
Yeah,
go to those areas. Yeah, I
that's
see
my
what you're
thinking too.
saying.
My thinking too is it would be like all those areas would be full of like unkillable mobs, and then you could cleanse the shrines to make them killable or something. Whenever I think open world, I think you're able to go nearly everywhere at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you can, but this one is rather relatively linear in its clearing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is a Bethesda game, as chat's pointing out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we boring you about our game mechanics talk on a game talk show, sir? I'm sorry.
Sorry about
I
that.
apologize.
I can go back to
Yeah.
Halo spoilers at 43 minutes. It is a Bethesda game, so there's a pretty high chance that this will end up on Game Pass when it comes out on um, whatever the exclusivity
Can we go
is.
back to taxes?
We could also go back to taxes.
Have you ever said that in your life?
And I think, if this is on Game Pass, yeah, it's probably worth it. Story's good. It's very, like, Cohh, you played Evil Within 2. I did not. Evil Within
Mhm.
2, was it like
I did too.
super? Oh, you did. Okay. Was it super serious the entire way, or was it just heavy-handed towards the end?
It's very tropey,
Okay.
like, but it's not goofy by any
Okay.
means. Like
Yeah.
but I'm one of I'm one of 7 people who really enjoyed Evil Within 2. I had a great time in it, and it is very tropey, and it gets kind of like horror film silly sometimes. Um, but it never gets goofy. It's not trying to make jokes.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I'd say that's
Yeah.
pretty similar to this then. It
Yeah.
it
This one so far, there have been a few, especially the banter between the
yeah.
inside guy and the like. I've enjoyed a lot of that. Like their banter gets to be pretty endearing
Mhm.
as it progresses, and there's definitely like progression there too, which is again is one of the reasons I think I'm enjoying the story so much. And those there's definitely just straight humor, them trying to be goofy and funny and tell each other off and stuff. But the subject matter stays relatively serious throughout the
Yeah.
entire thing.
Yeah.
It does a good job of kind of separating those.
Yep. I'm curious once you finish it to hear your thoughts because I thought ending best part of the game by a large margin. So that I'm glad that I played through it for that purpose. I also saw a couple questions in chat. Is it a scary game? No, there's maybe like
It's not a horror game.
yeah, there in the very beginning, there's a couple like jump scare moments. I would actually say if you ever played Fear or you remember the game Fear, it's very feary in terms of how it presents the scare factors there. But that goes away pretty quickly, and then you're kind of just walking around Tokyo, and it's a little odd. It's a little weird. There's like headless
It's kind of like
schoolgirls.
Control, where you're running
Yeah,
around and like all of a sudden the screen will skits and there'll be like something in front of you for half a second and then disappear. It's not, but the thing that shows up is not like a horror jump scare. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
that was weird. What was that? Why is the wall moving? Stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. If I can get through it, I don't think it's a scary game. That's
There,
my
there you go.
that's my barometer on all that
There you
thing.
go.
If I can play it, then it's not necessarily scary. So yeah, that's Ghostwire Tokyo out for PS5, PC, and it's doing well. I think on PC. They said that it like concurrent users on Friday or maybe Saturday was much higher than Evil Within 2 by about 5 or 6 thousand people. So seems to be doing well in terms of sales. Maybe we'll get another one. Who knows? I don't know what Tango Softworks is working on after this, or if they've even stated, but we shall see. We shall see with that. Zeke, any final questions, comments on this that you saw from the chat or from yourself before we probably take a break? Actually,
I was wondering, does so you turned down the difficulty? Did it feel like you were missing out? Did it feel like
no,
no, it didn't?
it's
So
bullet spongy. Like the
okay,
difficulty
okay,
is just bullet sponge on mobs. I don't think there was any other thing that I was changing apart from how much HP a mob had.
okay.
And for me, again, combat was hold back on the stick, charge up your fireball, launch the fireball, do that 5 times, and the mob died. That goes for any mob. That goes for bosses. That goes for anything in the game. The combat's one of the weaker parts. Like after you lose the appeal of how cool it looks, it's
Mhm.
the same thing over and over. You're kind of
Okay.
just doing your hand jutsus or whatever. And someone when I was playing it, they said this is the best Doctor Strange game they've ever played. If you're a Marvel fan and you know Doctor Strange and you know what he does
That's
in
what
the
I was. Yeah, when he
movies,
does the.
yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a ton of that in the game.
That's cool.
And even the
Mhm.
environments are very control-y for video game fans. They're very Doctor Strange esque for Marvel fans. You'll like walk into a room and it starts fucking with reality and doors close and doors open up. And I wish the game was more of that. I really do.
Yep.
Those are the best parts by a considerable amount. Really awesome the first time that stuff starts happening. Um, but
There's a level later in the game which is fantastic, whereas you're moving through it, all of the architecture changes.
yeah,
And what's so badass about it is when you move forward, it all changes into one way. But if you stop and move back, it all goes back to how it was.
it's
So you
great.
can sit in different parts of it and just move forward and back and watch the whole world like meld and morph and change like in these crazy ways. Like I kept finding myself getting to parts just being like, "Oh, watch this, cat, watch this," and I'd like walk forward and go back. Look,
I did the same
whoa, look
thing.
at that!
Yeah, yeah. It makes me think this game
Oh
might come to
man.
VR eventually with how it
A lot of
plays.
people in my chat kept saying that. 'Cause I
It'd be
think it'd
really
be
cool
good in VR.
VR.
And then I thought I wouldn't want to touch this in VR. I think it's already relatively like complete pixel vomit when you're in combat at times, where there's just so much like random
Yeah,
things and colors and graphics, and you hit a thing and there's like 5 different overlaid explosions with characters and numbers, and like it's just
I think
they would have to really tone that down if for any kind of
yeah.
VR thing.
that is true.
Well, not only that, but I think that
Like this shit
like
right here.
Oh yeah, this
watching you
stuff
do
was awesome.
combat, you have to do like so many different things. They'd have to make if they did VR, they would have to make it more powerful moves and less of them. Like
Yeah,
you only do like instead of doing 20 moves, you do like 5 and it does the same amount of damage because you're doing them with your actual hand.
right.
But that would be fucking cool.
It would. It would. So that's Ghostwire Tokyo. Might come back up.
Somebody pointed out in chat, by the way, apparently the difficulty levels do change some of the move sets of enemies. So
Really?
easy to miss, but yeah, somebody said
Yeah.
that is something that can
All right.
happen.
Look, they can't beat backpedal and fire nonstop. So
I don't know if it would change that strategy, but hey, it's it's
There-
important to mention.
there is a couple of like arena fights where you can't just backpedal nonstop, and that's where I was like, okay, game, you're getting a little. This is a little too crazy. I need to be able to. backpedal. So then I started circle strafing, and it was really next level. It really
Well, dude,
changed
you
the
sound
game.
like me playing Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
Like, why they put me in a confined space? I can't do anything here. I'm a wizard, goddammit.
Yeah,
I need some space to fucking put distance between me and the enemy.
you're not wrong. Did you? Are you done with Elden Ring? Did you finish it yet, Zeke?
Yes, actually, I did. I got.
You're done.
I'm doing the. I'm trying to get all the achievements because I went through it and I got a lot of them, and right before what I assumed was the final or final area or final fights, whatever. I that's when I started like, okay, what did I miss? Like NPC wise, like NPC quests, like all that shit. Like what did I miss? So I started going through that stuff, and I didn't miss a whole lot. I did pretty well. Like I got a couple hundred hours in the game, so I did a lot of like deep exploring and like wasting time, like looking at every nook and cranny. But
Yeah.
I did get to ending,
Okay.
and I'm going to try and cheat the system by reload. Like I have a save copied, and I'm going to try and do the end again and maybe get something else.
Yeah.
Without spoiling, what ending did you end up
Yeah.
getting?
Can you say a single word, perhaps?
Chaos.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow. Okay.
my favorite ending, personally. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
What is that? The ending I went.
You got to work for that one. Like they
Yeah.
don't give it to you. They don't give it to you.
Is that what I did, chat? I honestly have forgot. Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I did as well. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of that, when are we gonna do the spoiler cast?
I don't know. I didn't realize you were done with the game. We'll talk. We'll figure it out. I think.
I'm at. Let me see. No, I'm not done with the game yet, but I am.
You're out of spoiler territory.
Done everything. I've done everything. Yeah. 38 of 42 achievements. So like,
Okay.
got 4
Nice,
achievements
man.
left. I think they're probably all endings. They're all hidden. So
Yeah. I need to. I guess see where I was gonna invite Max on, and I was gonna invite Jericho on as well. Jericho is his first Souls game ever, so I think that's a pretty interesting perspective to have.
sure.
Is
You
like
never played any of them? No.
No, he's a Souls noob. So I'm curious to hear his thoughts on that. But yeah, we'll
I mean,
figure
we
that
can
out.
get literally any streamer.
Yeah,
those-
like
I was gonna
so
say,
many
you
people
really,
played it.
yeah.
So many people played it and are still playing it today. Like it's apart from like it's what I thought it was going to be pretty speed run heavy at this point, but people are still doing casual runs and it's fine. Like it's
Well,
still getting good viewership. And you're still playing it every night. Yeah.
I was playing it every night. I'm probably gonna take a break tonight, play some more Tiny Tina's, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
good.
beat the fire giant bro for my 3rd time. It was a nightmare last night as a melee with no summons. That fight sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited to go back again. I'm excited to do it again and do it just like because I did sorcerer the whole way. I'm excited to go back through it again and do a different build, like do a melee build of some sort.
Yeah.
Because like fights are exceedingly different from one to the other.
I think because I changed halfway through my playthrough from melee to magic that I got that experience already in a single playthrough because of the respec. And so I don't have the, because I did the first 50 hours of the game as melee. And I did the
Sure.
last 50 hours of the game or 40 hours of the game as magic. So I
Yeah.
kind of already fulfilled that like want of playing a different game.
See, I couldn't do that too. I couldn't do that. Like, I'm like, I could switch anytime. I know you get those, the respec things, and
Yeah.
I could switch, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to beat every boss and everything like with this to see how hard each one of it is, given the, that I'm a sorcerer,
Yeah.
and then go back through it and say like, this one was fucking easy as a melee, and then this one was like fucking impossible as a melee, and I breezed through it as a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've run into that multiple times between my mage playthrough and wizard playthrough already.
Yeah, just
where it's just like they're completely different experiences. Yeah, doing it one way and the other.
And I'm also
things that
looking
were
forward
like
to,
an
challenging
afterthought
myself.
in one is completely different in the other.
Yeah.
I'm also looking forward to challenging myself and doing the full game, like trying to see if I can do it with no summons.
Yeah, I think that's like the challenge run, in essence.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I offset it a bit by using a shield. So that's my big
King Kong's dick, man.
pull it in. Dude, shield is super fun in Elden Ring. The guard counter system is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly want people using it. They wouldn't have designed an entire mechanic over it, so it's really fun.
Let's not get into it. I want to talk about it, and we should.
I like
Fair,
it all.
fair.
It's all good. It's all great. All right, let's take a break. We've got oh god, we got Stranger of Paradise to talk about, which I am very excited.
You beat it?
I did. I beat that fucking chaos guy game. Zeke, you need to play that game. That's all I'm going to say before the break. You got to play Stranger of Paradise. That game was made for you in so many ways.
Is it an exclusive?
No, it's
not on
PC.
Steam.
Oh, is it Epic? It's Epic. It's Epic game.
Okay, it is. Okay, Epic
Yeah.
exclusive. All right.
Yeah. You got.
I will look it up.
I stopped playing it.
Yeah, and I'm curious to check in as to why with that.
Yep.
We got that. We've got Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I shouldn't even call it Borderlands, but it's Borderlands. We got that to talk about, and then
Wonderland.
Wonderlands. What did I say?
Wonderland.
Oh yeah.
You said Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. You said both.
Yeah, it's Borderlands, Tiny Tina, Wonderlands.
Can we just call it
3.
Bunderlands?
Bunderlands, maybe. Yeah, we can call it Better Writing Lands. Let's call it that, because that's the best way to call it anything. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's take a break. We'll come back, discuss all that and more right after this. What?
It's a Final Fantasy game. That's why I didn't play it.
Yes, I'll tell you why you should play it though. After
Okay.
this, we'll be right back. More Dot Frames coming up, and more spoilers as well. We'll see you guys.